Hello everybody, welcome to Mobility. So I'm going to reduce the intensity a little bit now because if you did the HIIT workout yesterday, it was blooming awful, to be honest. It was just really tough. Let me take my shoes off as well. Easy to do mobility with shoes off. So yeah, reduce the intensity quite a lot. I wasn't going to go for anything massively strenuous with this mobility. There's a few mobility sessions that I've done so far that a couple of people have commented and saying they're actually quite hard, which there are bits that are actually quite tough in, aren't there? When you kind of start going on hands and toes and things like that. I'll shoot out the shot. Hands and toes and things like that. There is going to be a little bit of that to begin with, just to get hips and knees opened up. But today, there's just a big focus around hips and around lower back as well, to get it moving. I'll mention when it is, but there's a short snippet in the middle, which will take a few minutes. If you ever feel like you've got a tight lower back, or especially on the morning, that kind of thing, there's about 5 minutes worth of exercise, well, I say in the middle, probably about 5 minutes in, that'd be really beneficial to do just first thing on the morning if you do have quite a tight lower back. Obviously, if you've got any injuries, any slip discs or anything like that, some of the twisting that you just need to be careful of, but if it's general just tightness, it could be really good to do. Anyway, what I'd like us to do to begin with is pop up onto your hands and onto your knees. Tuck your toes underneath, and then I'd just like to sit back on the heels, and then bring it forwards. So you feel that little stretch through the toes as you sit back, and then bring it forward. So the hips are opening up as well. Now, so just going to go 5 of these, so 2 more, sitting back, 1 more, and then I forgot the most important thing. Don't forget to set your tracker, I tend to just put this as cool down. There we go. Nice. And then what I'd like to do from there is pop up onto your toes. So lift the knees and then sit back exactly the same and coming forwards, but this time with the knees lifted off the floor. Nice. Just going to go 5 of these as well. 3, 4, and 5. Nice. Rest the knees down. To be honest, guys, that is probably the most strenuous part of the entire class. Sit back onto your heels, take the knees apart a little bit and lean forward into child's pose. So taking your knees a little bit further apart, it just gives you a little bit of room to drop the body in between. Often people can't get down low into child's pose, and it's because they keep the knees together and so the body's got nowhere to go. So just try and creep the shoulders a little bit further forwards, creeping the fingers, trying to keep the bum as close to the heels as they can. Nice, I'm just going to sweep the arms round to the right, hold it there. Coming back to centre, hold it. Creeping the fingers forward so you get a nice stretch through the shoulder blades. Squeeze the armpits down towards the floor. And then sweeping round to the left. And back to centre. Shoulder blades slide apart. Fingers creep forwards, armpits push down. Excuse me. Nice, guys. Bring it up out a bit. Just take a second just to catch your breath back, get the blood out of your head, let it drop down again. I'm going to do a similar thing. So drop back down into child's pose, reach the hands forwards. Trying to keep the bum back on the heels. So if you feel the bum lifting, just try and push it back down again, using your arms to push backwards. Nice. And what I'd like you to do is just bring the left arm back and just reach the right arm further forwards to get a fuller stretch through that right lat, shoulder, just generally all around that area. And then swapping round, left arm reaches, right arm comes back. Nice, both arms reach forward again. Just normal child's pose. Nice, and bring it up. When you're ready, guys, just roll over onto your back, have a lie down. So now I'm going to move up a little bit higher in towards the hips, shuffle down a bit. So what I'd like you to do is, we're going to keep one leg slightly bent for this one. So place both feet on the floor and then grab the back of your right leg and just pull it up towards you. So what I tend to find when people go feet flat on the floor, which is great, they can't quite reach it in. So if we pull it in, try and pull it a little bit closer and you'll get stretch higher up on that hamstring. Depending on how tight they are, I might just feel it all the way down. Pull the foot in towards you. And swapping over the legs. Squeezing in. Nice, guys. So, where are we? About 5 minutes in. This is the bit that I mentioned that if you've got a tight lower back, it'd be really good to do these just first thing in the morning. So what I'd like you to do is just extend the left leg, grab the right knee, pull it in towards your stomach. So it just gets a lot down the piriformis, a muscle around the hip, which is a nice stretch of the glute, starting to ease out that lower back. And then swapping over legs, pull the left one in, extend the right. So just think about where you feel that stretch more. Is it in the glute? Does the lower back just feel tight as you do it? Nice, go one more each side, right leg in, left one extends. So nice squeezing, remember finding that comfortably uncomfortable position. Swapping over legs, squeeze in. Nice, guys, just place those feet flat on the floor, just give yourself a second. Now if you pop your right ankle on top of your left knee, reach through to the back of the left leg and just grab the back of the thigh just to pull it in to get a stretch with that right glute. So just a normal glute stretch here. Just going to hold it for 15-20 seconds or so. Then what I'd like you to do is from there, just let go with your arms, bring them out to the side and drop the foot over like you're trying to place the right foot on the floor. So you keep the ankle on the knee and try and bring it over. And you might feel quite tight in that right lower back side. As in like the side of your back, not your back side. Feel free to adjust the position a little bit if you need. If you need to as well, put your left hand on top of that knee just to ease it in. But I want you to just make sure that you keep your right shoulder blade on the floor. And then just bring it back to the centre. We're going to swap over legs. So we're going to put the left ankle on the right knee, grab the right thigh, pull it in. Just going to hold it there for 15-20 seconds again. Nice, just release with your hands. Dropping the left foot over to the right hand side now. So for me straight away that feels tighter with that kind of left glute and into the lower back there. If you need to, put the right hand on it just to help deepen that stretch a little bit, push it a little bit closer to the ground. Nice. Bring it back up, and now we're going to go for simple knee drops. So both knees at 90 degrees, dropping over to the side, hold it in there. If you need to, use your hand just to ease it in a little bit closer, making sure that right shoulder blade stays on the floor. And swapping over sides, bring it round to the back. Nice, guys, bring it back to centre. We're going to do them two again. So if you pop your right ankle on top of your left knee and drop it over towards the left hand side, trying to get the right foot a little flatter to the floor this time. So chances are the further you get through it, the more flexible, the more mobile you feel, so you can probably get that a little bit further. Again, just another 15 seconds hold. Bring back to the centre, release. Left ankle, right knee, dropping over to that right hand side this time. Trying to keep the left shoulder blade flat on the floor. Nice, bring back to centre. Both knees to 90 degrees, drop back over to the left. Using the left hand to hold the knee down, if you need to, and the right shoulder blade stays on the floor. Just try and do a little squeeze with that left arm, just try and deepen the stretch. back over. This time to the right hand side. Left shoulder blade stays flat on the floor. Using the hand just to give a squeeze, get a deeper stretch. Nice. And just bring it back up to centre. Lower down. It's great. So this time, just see how this one feels. You can always do it with bent legs, but what I'd like you to try is put the left leg flat on the floor, lift the right leg up, and just take it over that left hand side. So it's a similar stretch, just a little deeper there. So if you need to, you can always just bend that right knee and take it over, and bend the left leg slightly as well. If you can, both legs straight, take them over to that left hand side. So it's just a fuller stretch than what you were just doing a couple of minutes ago. Try to keep the right shoulder blade on the floor if you can. Bring it back to centre, swapping over legs. Left leg goes over. So for me, I can really see the difference there. I could get my right toes on the floor this way. Even if I stretch, I can just about touch my toes on the floor, but I feel like I'm bouncing it, it's not really controlling it there. Go one more each side, guys. Right leg comes over. And final swap. Left leg over the top. Hold it there. I can get a little bit further this time. Nice, bring it back to centre. Pull both your knees in towards your stomach. Just give it a little hug. Hold it in there. It's just done 15 seconds again. Right, guys. So if you were just doing this for the 5-minute low back thing for the morning, that's where you'd want to leave it, but by all means carry on if you want to. So now we're going to go for a little bit more focus around stretching the glutes. So we're going to go into a hurdler stretch. So set yourself up with your left leg in front, around 90 degrees at the knee, and then the right leg comes behind, again around 90 degrees there. Turn the chest, so you're facing over that left leg. Now in previous weeks we just looked at kind of moving into the stretch, where we just drop the chest down to the floor. What I'd like you to do now is lift the chest up and push out, and then tip over. Now what that does, it just tilts the hip, tips the pelvis a little bit. So if you imagine where the glute is, your bum cheek basically, it brings the glute further up and round, so when you tip over, you don't have to go as far to get the stretch and you get a deeper stretch. Whereas if I relax it and tip over, I can get loads further. If I lift the chest and tilt the hips, then when I lean over, I can get to about there at a push, which is where I need to be pushing. I'm just going to hold it there. So it makes a massive difference. It's like the whole, it's not what we lift, it's how we lift it. It's similar with stretching. It's not what you stretch, it's how you stretch it. Doesn't quite have the same ring to it, does it then? Nice, guys. Bring it out, swap it over sides, so bring the right leg in front. 90 degrees with both knees. Turn the chest forwards over that right knee. Lift the chest, that little tip of the hip. So you might not realise it, but as you lift the chest up, your hips, if you really push your chest up and out, your hips will tilt underneath you a little bit. And then leaning forwards into it. Hopefully without getting cramping out of the glute. Oh, nearly. Okay, I think I've got it. So leaning forwards into it. Nice, guys. And swapping around, one more each side. So 90 degrees at both knees. Lift the chest up, lean forwards. So I feel like I can get a little bit further this time. Just the more I'm stretching it. Cramping that glute on the other side. Nice, hold it for about 5 more seconds. You keep holding, I'm getting cramp. Shows the benefit to need to stretch more and more. Nice, guys. Swapping over sides. Feels like I just need to get my fist in and kind of helps ease up the cramp a little bit. Let's do this side as well. So lift the chest, tip the hips under, lean forwards into it. Nice guys, and come out of it there. Just a little bit, just kind of finish off. What I'd like to do is we're going to do a little bit around shoulders and neck, just to rough them down. So it's up to you. You can either sit cross-legged on the floor, you can sit on your heels, you can sit with your legs out, however you want. So what I'd like you to do, start off, I'm just going to do neck tilts from side to side. So try and keep the shoulders down. Temptation is just to lift the shoulder up to meet it. I tend to just put my hands on the floor, or on my thighs, tilt over. So my neck is feeling particularly tight. Don't know if anyone else can hear it. Obviously not mine, but get like crunching as you tip over. All the knots and muscles in my neck. Nice, and just one more. Nice, and what we're going to do now is we're going to tip forward slightly. So rather than dropping the ear to the shoulder, we're going to drop the chin to the chest, but slightly to the side. So we're getting more around the back of the neck, diagonally across behind. So drop down, look into that stretch. And back up, and over to the other side. Nice, one more each side like that. See if I can feel that one side feels tighter than the other side. And over the other side. Nice guys, bring it up. So this time, just try and deepen the stretch a little bit. We're going to go ear to shoulder again. What I'd like you to do is pop your hand on top of your head, with your right hand on top of your head, and then your left hand, reach down like you're trying to touch the floor, and then just ease your head over, just to try and deepen that stretch. What you've probably done is release the pressure on that left hand, so just reach the left hand further. Feel the difference there? Feel how much that extends the stretch. Nice, bring it up slowly, over to the side, left hand on top of the head, right hand reaches towards the floor. Stretch. Soften over sides, bring it up slowly, hand on top of the head, tilt over, left hand reaches. Release it there a little bit. Just give a little roll out of the neck. Something that almost feels like it needs to crack sometimes, doesn't it? Just roll around, different directions. Just release it a little bit there. Nice guys. We are done. So yeah, that little 5 minutes in the middle, hopefully that's good. If anyone wants to use that, do you know what? I'm going to crop it out and share it as a separate video as well, just on the Facebook page. So if people can jump to it, it's like a little low back release, it's probably really good for people to do. I'm going to leave it there, guys. It is Friday, so enjoy your weekend. I will see you next week for week 4. Halfway already. Or will be at the end of next week anyway. Anyway, have a lovely weekend, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.